Welcome to What Matters, a podcast that looks inward at unique experiences, upward for divine direction, and outward at God's activity in our world. I'm Michelle Funk, your host, and I'm so glad that you're here with us today. The What Matters podcast is available to subscribe to, and that way you won't miss any of our What Matters Wednesday new episodes. I'm delighted today to get to offer a new episode for you all today in partnership with my good friend, Lynda Shillito. And we are going to have a great conversation today about United Methodist Women, this fantastic ministry and organization that Lynda has led over the past 2 years.
It'll be 2 years in the end of December,
Woo!
right?
And through this time of everything turning upside down a little
the
bit.
who knew time, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Welcome, Lynda.
Thanks, Michelle. I really am honored that you've asked me to come and talk about this organization I represent. I feel like I'm standing on the shoulders of many women who have gone before me in this position. And if you could see the cloud of witnesses around me, they're here. They're here with me today. So I really do appreciate your having me.
Yeah. You had big shoes to fill and you filled them. And, and we know that God has been present in all of this. Otherwise, it just, nothing could happen, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, let's dive in.
Right.
Let's just talk a little bit about United Methodist Women. We call it UMW.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
mostly known as UMW.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to stop and remember what that is.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. So tell me just, how did UMW get started? What's kind of some history to it?
You want the history first?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, if that's all right.
Yes. Well, that matters too. The United Methodist Women was not always called that, and I'll get to what it was originally named. In 1869, now, can you picture four years or so post-Civil War?
Wow.
8 women meet in a room in Tremont Methodist Church in Boston, Massachusetts. And they listen to the wives of 2 missionaries that have come back on furlough from India. And these women described to the 8 women that they're meeting with the conditions of women and children in India who have no medical attention because women can't be served by men in medical needs in India, and the children are going uneducated in a lot of places. And those women, by the end of the year, have put together money, and 2 of their members have agreed to go to India to serve the women and children in India. And it's from that beginning that the Methodist Women's Foreign Mission Society began. Now, luckily, we don't have all of those initials to say each time we talk about ourselves, but that was the beginning of who we have evolved into being today. So we come from some strong roots of women who are ready to meet the needs. And that's kind of what our DNA is, Who can we serve? Where can we serve?
Yeah. Amazing beginning.
It was.
Meager beginning, and then look at what it has grown into.
That is right.
Yeah.
But this podcast is titled What Matters.
That's right.
And one of the things that we wanted to talk about was what mattered this year to UMW. Yes. And I think the biggest thing through the COVID time that mattered to us was that we stayed together, that we were able to hold it together as a group of women. And I remember the Sunday that Pastor Adam looked right into the television and he said, "Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up." And I was looking at him going, yeah, I'm not going to give up. But I know that already UMW women had already lived into that don't give up message, because that's just who we are. We have this thread of perseverance that just runs through us, and we will not give up. So that's kind of what I think what matters to us, and that's kind of the end of the story. I've given away the story end before we really talk too much more about it. But
Well, it is what matters, because when you think about it, we are used to gathering in person. We have our set schedule. We have our set space. We have, we have all the things,
Right.
and all of that was just tipped upside down.
It absolutely was. I think, mid-March last year, everything came to a screeching halt. We still had 2 more meetings of our women's groups that we wanted to do, April and May.
Yeah.
And I think I called you, and we just kind of decided that everything was closing. We had to just cancel everything. That also meant we had to cancel a Lenten luncheon
Yeah.
that we had scheduled for March, and eventually cancel the rummage sale for 2020.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
thanks to you and whatever this new technology the church was beginning to invest in called Zoom,
Yeah.
I remember thinking to myself, now what? Everything's canceled. Now what? And it was by May that we were able to say, wow, what?
That's right.
Because
Yeah.
we had figured out that we could put together a joint meeting of our women's groups
Right.
over Zoom.
Right.
And you and your staff, Stephanie Holmes helped us,
Yes.
graciously taught us how to Zoom.
Uh-huh.
Zoom lessons. Can you
That's
believe
right.
it now?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we were, well, how do you do this? What are we going to do? What do you press?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you were so gracious for so many sessions. Now remember,
At the top
and
of
if
your
you
screen.
hover, and at the top, and in the corner, and don't
And at the
forget
bottom.
to, and remember to unmute yourself. I mean, it just goes on and on. But, we did learn how to do that. And
you all did not give up.
we didn't give up on that either.
You did not
We did
give
not.
up. Yeah, it was really fun to just be a part of that. Because
Were you giggling?
Well-
even as you were smiling at us learning.
truth be told, I had just gotten done. Anytime I got on with you all, I just gotten done watching all the video tutorials. I was
Yeah.
learning too.
Yes, you did have to learn a lot. I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
I'm sure
so
you
I
did.
was certainly no expert, and you all were very gracious with me as well. And we learned together because that is what matters. That's what is important. And that is the spirit of women, I think, is that we do not give up when things are really important. And coming together is too important to just let slip away.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another important thing that Pastor Adam just kept hitting on, who
course.
UMW is, right? He wasn't saying that, but, we all were feeling that spirit. The Sunday he talked about the one another's,
Yes.
you remember that?
Yeah.
When you are stopped and you can't meet in person and you've had that one anothering, one-to-one,
Right.
being able to touch and hold hands and
Right.
hug and all of
Right.
that kind of thing. We had to move our one anothering, to emails and texts and phone calls and snail mail. But we also were one anothering over Zoom. Air hugs
Right.
became a real, thing.
Yes.
And prayer
Yeah.
over Zoom became very important to us. And we one anothered each other, even when we couldn't do it in person. And so I think we all learned that didn't stop, caring for, bearing with. You didn't unmute yourself again.
I just got told today, you're on mute. I'm like, oh yeah.
Why is that so hard to
I know
remember?
it, I know.
Anyway,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we have carried on with one anothering as well. Too.
Absolutely.
So that's been good.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what else can you tell me just about kind of the mission and the organization, the purpose of United Methodist Women?
Right. I think when you boil it down, the purpose of United Methodist Women, UMW, is to meet the needs of women, children, and youth. And we like to say we do it by putting faith, hope, and love into action. And so we are hands and feet, and
Right.
having to sit in a little box and not
it makes
not
it harder.
use hands and feet has made it harder.
Yeah,
But I will explain to you in just a little bit how we have made that possible. Our basic month-to-month programming is composed of interesting, informational, instructional kinds of programs that our women put together and invite speakers to come and talk to us. We've had a variety of programming this year in the 2020, 2021 season of programs on racial justice and mass incarceration, the school-to-prison pipeline, voting. We had someone from the ACLU come. We've had Dr. Amy Oden speak to us on her book on Christian mindfulness. We've heard from the Core Silverlink Ministry. We've learned about genealogy and climate issues from Earth Core here again at church, and Alzheimer's disease.
Yeah.
And we had a very interesting program with Dr. Annie Alaniz, who was a grant recipient from our rummage sale money, which we'll get into in just a little bit.
Right.
But she is a gynecological oncologist who does her practice in Texas. But she's also a woman who was born in Malawi.
Yes.
So she told us her story via Zoom from Texas after having been in surgery literally 10 minutes before. She came into our meeting, talked to us as though she'd been with us, for hours, explaining who she is and what her ministry back in Malawi is. And I thought to myself, we saved days of travel for her, hours, hotel expense, because of Zoom. We were able to have her there. And I thought of so many of our speakers who could just step away from their business for a minute, come Zoom with us, and go right back to work. I mean, it's really, there have been a lot of benefits to being able to Zoom together.
I think so too. And I've been able to participate so much more.
And we've needed you.
And which has been so amazing to me, because I know that you all gather together and do amazing things, wonderful things. And I've just never been present in every single, meeting and program. But what you are doing is you're gathering together as women who have minds to learn about and then take action on or sink your teeth into some really important topics, issues, opportunities, educational awareness. Awareness is a big, big thing. The more knowledgeable and aware we can become about things that are happening in our world.
Absolutely.
And when we apply our faith-based perspective to them, our faith-based calling to be engaged with these, issues, you guys are rocking and rolling. And just, make sure you unmute, because it is important stuff that's happening.
That's right.
Each and every time you gather.
Yeah.
I just love learning that.
Well, one of our women said one time to us that we are lifelong learners. And that's a message that I have kept thinking about. What's the next thing? What's there for us? What's happening in the world? What do we need to learn about? And even this past week in our Zoom meeting with Dr. Burns from the Alzheimer's disease unit, he said one of the important things was to keep on engaging your mind in interesting things. So I think we're providing a service for our women there as well too.
Yeah, and especially this past year, because wasn't it every week something new in the news? And good grief, like hard things, really, really, really hard things.
Yeah.
But also things like, remember they were talking about the killer hornets were coming. I was just about to hear from you all. We're going to do a program on that.
Well, that's interesting. We might consider it. We didn't get to that this year.
But there were a lot of things happening in this past year, and you all talked about them.
Yes, we did.
You didn't just say, "Oh, that's too too much." You talked about you're ready to, like I mentioned, take a little. Grab a hold of this issue that's hard and difficult and learn about it and figure out something to do with it.
We keep trying to engage, and I know that engagement and, like I said, inaction, is a part of who we are. And I've been very proud of our women's groups and the things that we have been able to accomplish, even from a distance or, safe distancing or all of that.
Yeah.
Our women have still been making donations, collections and donations for the Salvation Army
Yes.
in Olathe, Kansas.
Yeah.
We created birthday bags.
Yes.
One of our members had this great idea to put everything together that you would need if you were a mom putting together a birthday party for your kid. And so we, 16, 17, 20 items in a nicely decorated bag and taken to a food pantry.
Right.
And we did several of those.
So
and so
a-
there were,
Yeah, so a family could come who would not otherwise be able to and
Right.
actually bake a birthday cake, have the frosting, have
Yeah.
the candles, have all of that. Yeah.
the cups, the napkins,
Right. That's
the
right.
tablecloth. So, we made
Yeah.
it so that someone else could
Yeah.
have an enjoyable time. And
Yeah.
our women enjoyed putting it together.
Right.
It brought back good memories for a lot of people when, we used to do birthday
Yeah.
parties for kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We were able to host a fantastic Lenten luncheon over Zoom. We gave up,
Yes.
2020's
I know. We
Lenten
had
luncheon,
to just let that go.
where we
but
have women meeting together in
Right.
person, sitting at table. But our women planned a really interesting and very, very fine Lenten luncheon this year. And then most recently, we finished up with the book fair for the
Yeah.
bookmobile.
Yeah, so let me give a little context.
Yes,
So our
please.
church has this bookmobile. It's an actual van
Yes.
that has actual bookcases in it.
It's such a cute van.
It is. It's a miniature library on
Yes,
wheels.
that's right.
Yeah, but it requires books.
It does.
Because these books are given to students in our partner schools. Our
Yes.
church partners with area schools, elementary schools, and to give a kid a book, I think two, right?
Yes.
They get to take home
hmm
2 books to practice their reading skills at home. We all know how important this is.
Yeah.
And so when UMW learned that occasionally the bookmobile runs dry, the shelves
Right.
get empty,
Right.
you all said, oh, no, no, no. No. We
Yeah.
are going to do something
We can do
about
something.
this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this time around.
Right. So this is our third year of doing that. We've had 2 years that we were able to do the book fair in person, but this year, no. So we took it online, and thanks to the generous donation of the community, this church community, we raised close to $26,000 in books and monetary donation, which will go to the purchase of books for the bookmobile.
Amazing.
I know. We were just,
Amazing.
is it going to work? Is it going to work?
And not only, I mean, just a few challenges and obstacles got in the way.
Yeah.
We don't even cover
No.
all of that.
We shouldn't.
To do a book fair online, and
Yeah.
then this is the result.
I
and
know.
worth celebrating.
It is.
really.
God stepped in.
Yeah.
It just, and people were gracious and generous.
But again, it's because you all said,
Yeah.
we will not give up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We had
We
to
will not
make
give
some
up.
changes along the way, but you're right. We didn't give up on that.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad we didn't, because it's very well worth it. And I've seen the looks on the kids' faces when you say to them, no, you don't have to buy this, and you get to take it home, and it is yours. And they're just delighted to
Yeah.
have something that they own, that it's theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, are you ready yet to talk about Rummage? Are you?
To talk about Rummage.
Yeah. I mean, because UMW does so many great things. The Rummage Sale has been one of those that, again, involves our congregation as well as our community.
It does.
And that's something so cool about UMW is, yes, you do meetings and programs to become informed and educated, but you also do things that spread out from there,
Yes.
that involve more than that particular group. It involves the congregation, involves the community, open to the public.
Right.
And so let's talk Rummage.
Okay. Before I get into the
Yeah.
details and
Yeah.
the dates and times and all of that,
Oh, yeah.
I do want to mention Rummage for a lot of people is, oh, I get to clean out my house and give away my stuff. Rummage for a lot of people is, oh, I get to go shop, and get really good stuff for a really cheap price. Bottom line, Rummage is the money that we earn translates into grants
Right.
for agencies and organizations in Africa, some nationally, lots of local agencies
Yeah.
through our grant program, and we vet different agencies and have a very fine grant program that we do give away. Most of the money that
Right.
we earn from people donating and shopping,
Right.
you know, and it is great. And I mentioned Dr. Annie Albanese.
Yeah. Oh,
So one of the grants that we were able to give in 2019 was to her organization back in Malawi. She has an organization called Pathwira, which means safe haven, and they take care of women, pregnant women, and orphans in their organization. And her family still runs this organization back in Malawi. But she asked for money to buy a mobile sonogram machine.
right.
And sonogram for us is kind of that's the machine that tells you which sex your child is going to be
Right.
if you want to know.
Yeah.
For them, it's a life-saving measure.
Yeah.
They can see if a woman is in distress while she's pregnant. They can use it like a portable x-ray machine. And when Dr. Annie was telling us about it, I think all of our eyes were and our jaws were going, really? You can do that with that machine?
Right.
And so how valuable.
Right.
How valuable. And
Yes.
we've helped make that possible in part, you know, for
Right.
for her
Right.
group, and many things like that happen.
Right. And that's one grant story,
Right.
but an amazing one because I'm like you. I tend to think of rummage as I can get rid of some stuff and I can get
That's
some
right.
stuff for cheap on the
That's
dollar,
right. That's right.
But that translates into saving a baby's life.
Yes,
Saving a
absolutely.
mother's life.
Yes.
Preventing, she shared, Dr. Annie shared the surgeries that were prevented because they could see with this sonogram machine other solutions. So again, saving people's lives. And that's one grant.
know.
Yeah.
I know.
There's
And-
so many other stories like that due to the grant
Yes,
process.
It
that
is.
stems-
And that's the thing that drew me in. You know, rummage is fun,
Yeah.
rummage is work, but rummage is worth it because of, you know, incidences like this. And I
Yeah.
think people don't realize so much,
Yeah.
you know, it really is important. So
Yeah.
it's important because we're having it again this
Right,
year.
right, yes, yes. A little new and different.
Yes.
But yes, we are,
Yes.
because we're not going to give up.
We are not going to give up. We had to give up last year, but, you know,
Yeah.
we sat and we thought and we talked and we figured out that we could do a hybrid rummage. Hybrid's the new word,
Yes,
isn't
that's
it?
right.
So we're having a furniture and lamps only sale.
Right.
Okay. We figured if we could pare down to a minimal amount of things, that it would be safer as we're transitioning out of COVID and all of that protocol. So it will be outdoor furniture as well, but the outdoor furniture will be displayed indoors. So, so that is going to be July 11th through 17th. Okay, that's the week
Right,
of rummage.
right.
It breaks down into different things. Okay. So we will need volunteer help. And if you go now to cor.org/rummage, you can now register to volunteer some
Right.
hours of time during the rummage time. There will be furniture pickup again this year, and that registration will be online this year. It used to be you dial a number and someone would talk to you. We've gone online with that this year, and that registration starts June 1st.
Right, to schedule a furniture pickup.
Yes.
So we have volunteers who'll come to your house, if you live close to the church, that is.
Yes.
And pick up the furniture from your house and bring it.
And-
And as well as outdoor, that's living room furniture, bedroom furniture, dining room furniture, but it needs to be furniture.
Yes.
Not the box of dishes.
No.
Dishes are not furniture this year.
No, don't
Or
clean
ever.
off grandma's cabinet
No.
and put it in a box and stick it in a drawer in the furniture.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no. We don't
Yeah.
want that. We
Yeah.
just want the furniture this year.
Yeah.
We're going to try to make it work this year
Yeah,
with just furniture.
yeah.
So thanks for mentioning that.
Yeah. So that opens up June 1st. You can schedule your time.
Right.
But right now, you can devote some time to volunteer because, like you said, it's work, but it's worth it. It is so much
It is
worth it.
definitely worth it.
Yeah, yeah.
So Sunday on June 11th and Monday on the 12th, you can drop off furniture here if you don't have it picked up.
Right.
And that will be on Sunday from 2 to
Afternoon.
7. Yeah, like after church would
Yeah.
have been finished, and you can get back home and get your stuff back up here.
Yeah.
And then Monday again from 8 to 7. So
Yeah.
those 2 days for drop off.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll be setting up the furniture, up to the 14th so that's like Wednesday. And then Thursday and Friday will be public sale.
Sale days.
Sale days,
Yeah.
and they'll be open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. those 2 days. So we're kind of limiting sale. We'll kind of monitor how many people come in, and all that will change, by July from where we are right now. So we don't know exactly how it will look, but we're going to make it happen some way or another.
That's right. And we're already we're gonna celebrate the fact that, furniture will show up.
Yes.
Shoppers
We
will
do
show
believe.
up.
Yes.
And the result will be these amazing grants that
That's
go
right.
out into our world to make a difference. And that's what UMW is all about.
That is. That
Yeah.
is definitely what it's all about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Rummage 2020-21 is on, and so
Here it
donate,
comes.
volunteer, and shop, and
Absolutely.
that will be the way that you can help us.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah. Lynda, I love talking with you.
you too, Michelle. This has really been fun.
Yeah, and getting to do things together with you with regard to ministry and
Thank
the
you.
amazing women that are involved.
There are some
Yeah.
very strong, amazing women, and I have loved just having the chance to be with them and work with them and
Yeah.
learn from them, grow with them.
Yeah.
It's been an honor, a wonderful opportunity.
That's what
And
it's all
with you too,
about.
Michelle.
Well, ditto, likewise. And that's what matters.
That's what matters
That's what
the most.
matters the
Friendship.
most. Yeah.
Yeah, you bet.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lynda.
Thank you,
you
Michelle.
for being here. Thank you all for joining us on this podcast episode of What Matters. I'm Michelle Funk, your host, and I'll see you next time. That was just perfect. UMW.
It was fun.
It was good.
It was good. I
Yeah,
think
see? Painless.
good banter.
I know. I probably didn't start in the exact right order, but you went and flowed along just perfectly. So you're a pro. You're a
Thank
pro.
you.
Lane's going to come in and take our picture.
Oh, okay.
So we have to stay all